If we look at this design, everything looks great in the grayscale, but if I were to restore the fills by clicking Restore Fills, you'll notice that the outline here has disappeared and turned to a frosted color. The reason that this can happen is that if something has been applied as a frost before, then it can inherit those characteristics even if you change it to black afterward. So if this here had already been applied as a frosted color, but we changed it to black, when we go to refill it, it still goes back to the frosted color because that's already been tagged as being a frosted color. And normally that happens when you're combining things together because you're then taking on the properties of the object you're combining to. So in order to fix this, what we need to do is we need to go back to grayscale. We'll grab, actually before we do that, I'm going to restore the fills because I wasn't sure what color this was. So I will check on it first and see what color it is. So it's American Rose. So what we'll do is we will go back to grayscale, click on that outline, make it black so that it looks the right way again. But this time we'll hit Control A to select everything and we will forget fills. By forgetting fills, what that does is it takes those back-end tags off of the objects, so this no longer knows that it used to be considered something called frost. By doing that, I can now reapply the fills and it'll work out fine. So if I need to search for American Rose, I can just do a search for that and find the American Rose fill and fill it in. And now it's going to fill in correctly. When I go back to grayscale and restore it, it'll still work again. That's because I've now told it to forget that that ever had a frost in it. So if I were to take this and combine it to this one, it pulls on, or it pulls in that frosted characteristic. If I then break it apart and only select all the inside stuff and combine that together, and then I change this to black, we think that everything's okay. If we go back to grayscale, it looks okay. But if we restore our fills, it's going to restore back to the way that it was because this object out here had taken on that characteristic of being frosted, simply because it got combined to something else. So we will go ahead and start this over again, go back to grayscale, fill it with black, select all, forget the fills, and now we're good to go.